We're going to talk about uncertainty reduction in this brief video. It corresponds with week 10 or week 9 in the course, and it is in the chapter on escalating relationships. Uncertainty reduction was developed by Charles Berger and Richard Calabrese, although Berger has done most of the research in this area. But the main idea is that, according to them, the main purpose in communication, especially in initial interactions with people, is to make sense out of their behavior. So to increase our certainty about it and decrease our uncertainty about it. And why? Because human beings tend to like certainty. We need to make sense out of our worlds, and we need to understand why people say what they do and do what they do, because that makes it easier to interact with them. So basically, according to them, the driving force in all initial encounters is to reduce uncertainty. However, our need to reduce uncertainty, according to them, is mediated by 3 variables. The first is anticipation of future interaction. If you feel like you're going to spend a lot of time with somebody or you're going to be seeing them in the future, then your need to reduce uncertainty is going to be heightened. The second is incentive value. So if a person has something we want or they have the ability to reward us, then we may need to reduce uncertainty even greater as well, because we want that reward and we want to figure out how to get it. And then deviance. If a person acts really strange, we tend to want to reduce uncertainty just because we want to know what's going on with that person. Now, the theory has several axioms and 21 theorems, and we are not going to go over all of those. Axiom is kind of a fancy way to say principle, and I'll read you 3 of those so you get the idea. And these pretty much are common sense. Number 1, strangers enter an interaction with high levels of uncertainty about others. However, as they begin to talk to one another, their level of uncertainty decreases. In turn, as the uncertainty decreases, they'll talk more because they'll feel more comfortable with one another. Axiom number 2, as nonverbal expressive communication increases, uncertainty levels decrease. So again, if people are giving you more signals nonverbally, you'll be able to figure them out better. And number 3, high levels of uncertainty prompt strangers to ask more questions of each other. As uncertainty decreases, so does the posing of questions. So that's a way that we get to know about one another, is through asking lots of questions. So again, a lot of that makes sense, don't you think? However, there are 3 categories of uncertainty reduction techniques. And the first are referred to passive strategies. And that's when we just kind of observe people and just kind of wonder about their behavior and try to make sense of them that way. So if you're in a class of 25 people, you may just observe how people talk to one another, what they do, those kinds of things. Then there are active strategies, and that relies on asking other people about the person. So if you're attracted to somebody, you may not want to approach that person one-on-one, so you may approach the people that know that person and ask about them that way, which is we still do it, but kind of a junior high type thing. And then there are interactive strategies, which have to do with actually interacting with that other person and posing questions and things like that. Now, the theory has generated a lot of research and a lot of debate. Michael Sunafrank and Charles Berger have gone back and forth over a series of articles, because Michael Sunafrank believes that reducing uncertainty is not necessarily the goal that people have in conversation. Rather, people want to create a positive relationships with others. And so he says what people really want to know is, how much can the other person reward them? And so that is called predicted value outcome. People are trying to find out the value of the other person in the relationship, rather than simply reducing uncertainty. Again, according to him, people are trying to reduce the uncertainty in order to really figure out what they can do for that person. And so those are some brief ideas pertaining to uncertainty. Thank you.